Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's part fascinating, part hilarious, and part cautionary tale for every film and TV lover out there. It's about the legendary show, Mad Men, and its recent arrival on HBO in glorious 4K. You'd think this would be a cause for celebration, right? Seeing Don Draper's slick suits in the stunning 1960s aesthetic in ultra-high definition sounds like a dream. But for many fans who excitedly fired up the first episode, that dream quickly turned into a very strange and very funny reality. So, what happened? Well, it seems the version of Mad Men that landed on HBO's streaming service was unquite the finished product. In fact, it appears to be a version from before the final post-production edits were applied. This means all the little movie magic tricks used to polish the show and hide the crew were suddenly gone. The curtain was pulled back, and what fans discovered was pure gold. The most talked about moment comes from the Season 1 episode, Red in the Face. If you remember, Roger Sterling and Don Draper have a massive lunch involving way too many oysters and martinis. This culminates in Roger dramatically throwing up on the floor of the office. It's a key character moment. But in this new 4K version, as fans on social media were quick to point out, the scene has an unexpected guest star. Right there in the shot, you can clearly see a crew member crouched down, manning the puke machine. The practical effects rig used to make Roger's unfortunate incident look so realistic. It's a classic behind-the-scenes blunder that was never, ever meant to be seen by the public. And that wasn't the only issue. Viewers reported other problems, like visible green screens that were supposed to be replaced with and other crew members accidentally popping up in reflections or at the edge of the frame. It's like watching a rough cut of the show, a work-in-progress version that gives us an unprecedented and unintentional look at how the sausage gets made. Now, this whole situation brings up a really interesting conversation about film and TV. When a studio decides to upgrade a classic to 4K, it's a delicate process. Remastering often involves going back to the original film negatives or raw digital files, the footage, before it was color-corrected, edited, and had special effects added. The goal is to create a much cleaner, more detailed image than what was possible at the time of its original release. When it's done right, like with shows such as Breaking Bad, the results can be breathtaking. It can breathe new life into a beloved series, attract a whole new generation of viewers, and get collectors to open their wallets for the definitive version. But when it goes wrong, well, you get the Mad Men situation. This isn't the first time we've seen a remaster controversy. Many of you probably remember the infamous HD remaster of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. In that case, the process was a disaster. The original show was shot in a 4:3 aspect ratio, the classic boxy TV format. The HD remaster cropped it to widescreen, which meant characters' heads were sometimes cut off. Even worse, the color grading was completely changed, ruining the dark, gothic atmosphere that was so crucial to the show's tone. And just like with Mad Men, the wider frame and increased clarity revealed things that were never meant to be seen: stunt doubles, crew members, and lighting equipment lurking in the shadows. It was a classic example of how a technical upgrade can actually damage the artistic integrity of the original work. So, who's to blame for the Mad Men make? According to reports, HBO has pointed the finger at Lionsgate, the studio that owns the rights to the show. HBO claims they were simply given the wrong files to upload. It was a simple, yet massive, logistical error. Lionsgate has since acknowledged the mistake and is reportedly working to provide HBO with the correct, fully edited 4K masters. So, chances are, these hilarious behind-the-scenes moments won't be on the streaming service for long. They'll likely be corrected soon, becoming a funny footnote in the show's history. Much like the infamous coffee cup that accidentally appeared in an episode of Game of Thrones. That mistake was digitally erased from the episode shortly after it was discovered. But for a brief moment, fans got a rare and unfiltered peek behind the curtain of one of television's most meticulously crafted shows. Mad Men is famous for its incredible attention to detail, its period accuracy, and its flawless visual style. Seeing these imperfections, these human errors, is actually kind of charming in a weird way. It reminds us that even on a production as polished and professional as Mad Men, there's a team of people just out of frame working hard to create the magic. There are grips, camera operators, and yes, even puke machine technicians, all doing their part. The incident highlights the double-edged sword of the 4K ER. The technology allows us to see our favorite shows and movies with more clarity than ever before. But that clarity can also expose the very seams of their construction. It puts pressure on studios to be incredibly careful when they dig into the archives. They're not just upscaling an old video file. They're fundamentally reassembling a piece of art, and every decision matters. Will the colors look the same? Is the aspect ratio correct? And most importantly, have you checked to make sure there is UNT guy operating a vomit hose in the middle of the shot? For those of you who want to see it for yourself, you might still have a small window of opportunity before it gets fixed. Head over to HBO and check out the early seasons of Mad Men. You might just catch a glimpse of the movie-making process that was never meant for your eyes. It has a bizarre and funny situation that has given fans a new reason to talk about this incredible show. And if you've never seen Mad Men, honestly, even with these mistakes, it's still one of the greatest television series ever made, and I can't recommend it enough. Just try to ignore the man behind the puke machine. What do you all think? Is this a hilarious mistake or a disrespectful way to treat a classic? Have you spotted any other remastering blunders and other shows or movies? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of film and television. See you in the next one!